Welcome in, fans of all teams. You guys might be able to see my fiance in the corner. My phone's not facing me, so I have no idea. Today was a sad day for the Chargers. I'm going to be going through Twitter throughout this video just to make sure that I don't miss anything. But I'm just going to be going through a little bit of what happened today in the AFC West, as well as some of the remaining free agents that I'm hoping the Chargers can sign. We still have, especially after the cut of Brian Bulaga, literally the only person we signed today was the Atlanta Falcons long snapper for like 4 years. So we still have cap space, more than enough cap space to sign a mid-level right tackle. Let me just refresh Twitter and make sure that I haven't missed any Charger signings. I don't think that I have because I follow enough Chargers and football pages. Yeah. There was some movement today. Chandler Jones, as you guys will see, Von Miller, Raheem Mostert just signed. OJ Howard, Ricky Seals. So yeah, Uchenna Nwosu signed today. So the AFC West is officially well-rounded and stocked with pass rushers, sort of with the exception of the Chiefs. They do have Chris Jones, but he's going to attack on the inside. Morgan Moses signed as I was making the video last night. Speaking of which, it has like 1.8 thousand views. Don't know how, don't know why, but it showed that 97% of the people who watch the video aren't subscribed, I think. Maybe, probably more. But on this channel, I'm just going to cover primarily the NFL draft. That is going to be my niche, my area of expertise throughout the year. And then Chargers news, that's my favorite team. I'm still going to be covering a little bit of every team, kind of just through the draft, or as it relates to who they're going to be targeting in the draft, but primarily Chargers coverage, sort of like this video. So if you're into either one of those, consider subscribing, because I for sure don't have 1.8 thousand subscribers, but that's how many views I got on my last video. So today we're going to be glancing at the best free agents available. Today and yesterday, really, we haven't done anything since the first day of free agency and the couple days leading up when we got Khalil Mack. I want to trust Staley and Telesco that they have a plan and that they're not just going to remain complacent with the moves that they have made, because this roster still needs a lot of work as far as depth. But more than that, we need a right tackle. We need a right guard. And then I still think that we need another starting linebacker next to Drew Tranquill rather than Kenneth Murray. Outside of that, we just need depth, which is still important, but as long as we have the top 22 filled out through free agency, then we can make some minimal signings as well as attack depth in the draft, which I would prefer. But I don't want to go into the draft pigeonholed into having to take a right tackle. Right now, that's what it looks like. I'm going to go through the tackles that are still available. Teron Armstead, way out of her price range. Bobby Wagner, the Guilty as Charged podcast guys were talking about Bobby Wagner, and I want to say the consensus among them was that they don't really want him, or they would take him if he was insanely cheap. but they would rather sign a Tyrann Mathieu or get another safety. I don't think I'm in that boat necessarily. I would be willing to pay. I mean, obviously, if Bobby Wagner wants 10 plus mil per year, then we can't do that. But if he's willing to come in for a reasonable deal, there are Chargers fans out there who think that Kaiser White is a better player than Bobby Wagner and would have been a better re-sign. For the next 2 to 3 years, in no world is Kaiser White better than Bobby Wagner. They exist on different planets. Bobby Wagner is a probably first ballot Hall of Famer, perennial All-Pro, Pro Bowler. Kaiser White was not even on like people's top 100, 200 free agent lists. But as we keep scrolling down, there's Tyrann Mathieu, Akeem Hicks still available, a lot of Calais Campbell. Here's one guy that I'm interested in tomorrow, as soon as possible. Chargers tackle Dwayne Brown. I want to say he's 36, 34, 36, somewhere around there. He is very old, but I don't really care. We just saw Andrew Whitworth be like a top 5 tackle in the league at age 40. If you have the technique, if you have the frame, you can play tackle until you're 40, at least, just like Whitworth. And Dwayne Brown would at least bring experience and mediocrity, which is all we need at that right tackle position. We cannot go in with Storm Norton facing, even the Raiders, now with Chandler Jones on one side and Max Crosby on the other. Rashawn Slater, yes, I trust to pretty much lock down one of them the whole game from the left side, but Storm Norton is going to get run over every single play, just like last year, week 18. If Trey Pipkins, I don't think we should go into the year with Trey Pipkins as option A. If he's option B as a swing tackle, I wouldn't hate it, just because he graded out well in the 2 games that he did play, but I just think that would be a really, really poor idea and would lead to kind of putting a cap on this offense. We're top 5 last year. Let's keep it that way, but we're not going to keep it that way if the entire right side of our line is below average and just getting run through every single week, especially in the AFC West. With the pass rushers that are now in the division, Julio Jones also just got released today. Sort of somebody to keep an eye out for. I know a lot of Chargers fans wanted him last year or 2 years ago when he was a free agent, but yeah, he is a potentially elite weapon, but he just hasn't been healthy in a while. If he wanted a really cheap contract, which I don't think he's going to take, probably going to chase another bag. But if he, I would be interested in the upside if you want to take a cheap deal. Some depth at edge. Alexander Johnson is a guy that I like. Andrew Norwell. Eric Fisher. Eric Fisher I wouldn't be thrilled with, but I literally just want anybody else other than Storm Norton and Trey Pipkins. Here's another guy, Trent Brown. He is much younger than Dwayne Brown. As I say, developed into one of the better starting tackles, so upper half, I would say, of starting tackles, which would be great. I think it's Trent Brown who's meeting with the Seahawks tomorrow, which I was really hoping that was going to say Chargers next to that update, but it did not. It said Seahawks. So Chargers made no moves today other than that 4-year deal for a long snapper. Riley Reef is available. Billy Turner. Jermaine Ifedi. Wait. Started right before. Yeah, I don't think he's that great at all. Kaiser White is still available. I forgot about that. And this is pretty up to date as well. Brandon Shell. And yeah, we still need a guard as well. Ode Ibushi, still unsigned. I would be interested in. Bobby Massey, Cornelius Lucas, Jason Peters, Ode Ibushi, Nace Holder, David Quessenberry. Like, I wouldn't be thrilled with some of these lower tier guys, but I would take it over what we currently have right now. Eric Fisher, Dwayne Brown, Trent Brown. Those are the guys' names that I want to see pop up on Twitter tomorrow, as should you guys, I think. Let me just make sure that nothing has happened. Because as I was uploading my video yesterday, Morgan Moses got signed, and somebody was telling me to do my research before I made the video. Like, fuck you. I don't think I really like that. What are we doing? 2 days. I mean, I can see how the Deshaun Watson decision might be kind of holding things up, but he's really only deciding between, I want to say, 4 teams. So I could see how the teams in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes would be holding back a little bit, just because that's going to be a pretty big cap hit and change where they want to go as a franchise a little bit. But I mean, Chargers aren't obviously involved in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes, so maybe one of the teams that is also wanting to sign some of these tackles. Possibly they have a better deal out, and I don't know, they're just waiting to see what Deshaun does. But my concern is growing. Normally I want to say more free agents have been signed by now. I know that there's a couple of holdouts each year who sometimes it takes a couple of weeks to sign. I want to say Jadeveon Clowney did that 1 year, but, and I could be wrong, but there's just still a lot of guys here to be signed. One thing that the Chargers should consider is restructuring Joey Bosa's contract. I want to say it could free up like 10 mil this year by converting, I want to say it's a roster bonus, or I don't think you can restructure cap hit. So I think it's the roster bonus to a signing bonus, which would push some money into the future, but free up more money for us to go get, hopefully, a starting right tackle. Hopefully a pretty cheap average guard like Ode Ibushi. And in my opinion, hopefully a starting linebacker. And then some flyers on cheap veterans for depth. I mean, cheap young guys as well wouldn't be bad. Jayon Brown. Is this a Jayon Brown that played for the Chargers a while ago? I don't think I remember. Maurice Hurst is another guy who I would honestly be interested in, because the guys that we signed, Sebastian Joseph Day and Austin Johnson, I don't think are great against the pass. So if they could be first, possibly second down guys, because they are a little bit better than guys like Maurice Hurst, but then throw in a Maurice Hurst and possibly Jerry Tillery on third down, for if it's like third and long, obvious passing situations, that would be a pretty dangerous pass rushing set with Khalil Mack, Joey Bose, Maurice Hurst, and Jerry Tillery. Honestly, Kyle Fuller is a guy who I'm interested in as well. Jason Verrett would be interesting, but I don't think the Chargers would touch him. Pause. Quinn Spain, Akella Witherspoon is, what's his name? Rasul Douglas still available as well? I'm not sure. Yep, he is. Like, there's a lot of talent still here on the board. That's for draft, still available in free agency. Chargers need to make a move. Probably won't tonight at this point. It's 8:42 when I'm recording this. Hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully Deshaun Watson makes his decision soon, because I think a lot of guys and a lot of teams are going to start signing, going through this list here after Deshaun Watson signs and their divisions are kind of set and they have a better feel of their place in the division as well. But that should do it for this video. Like, comment, subscribe, all 1.8 thousand of you. And I will see you guys possibly tomorrow if we sign somebody, possibly even if we don't sign somebody, because my concern will only continue to grow, as should yours. I've seen a lot of Chargers fans also pounding the table for like an RB2 right now. That is the least of our concerns. We do not need to lean into our run game at all. That would be like, we're not going to. Brand Staley's way too smart to do that, but that would just be incredibly counterproductive, ignoring obvious holes on our team, impact positions that would move the needle of this team and raise the ceiling, versus adding an RB2. I don't know what some Chargers fans are thinking, but like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.